everyone, Urmila here. This is my aunt Kanakamani, and today we are going to show you how to make Sri Lankan Payasam. Imami, can you tell them what Payasam is?
Yeah. Payasam is a sweet meat served at the end of every function in Sri Lanka, and everybody waits for it because it's such a lovely taste and the sweetness, and it has got all the ingredients that need to be inside there to make you happy. We have got the brown sugar, the sago, and the parupu. We call it parupu. It's the moong dal, and it gives a very good flavor for the end of the dinner, because everything is included into it with the cashew nut and the raisins.
Okay, now I'm going to show you what you're going to need to make this dish. So we are going to need
1 tablespoon of ghee and 1 tablespoon of cashew nuts cut into small pieces, and raisins 1 tablespoon again, and we need samia. Samia is a type of mihun that we have in Indian cooking, and we have to have about half a cup of
It's also called vermicelli.
yeah.
So it's half a cup of vermicelli.
Yeah. And this is moong dal, which is known in Sri Lanka as parupu, green dal. And
This one is roasted moong dal.
yeah,
And so you can see that the grains have already been roasted beforehand. You can either buy it already roasted, or you can buy just plain moong dal and roast it lightly on the stove.
and it's 1 tablespoon then. Yeah. And sago. Everybody knows, I think, what is sago, and it's 1 cup of sago for this recipe here. And 1 cup of milk, thick milk, evaporated milk. In Sri Lanka, they use cow's milk because they get it fresh. So here we are
We just get a long life milk. So
Yeah.
we're using, either you can use a cup of long life milk
Yeah,
or
yeah.
a cup of evaporated milk.
Yeah. And this is the brown sugar. We use it for coloring, plus to minimize the sweetness of the sugar,
Of the white sugar.
white sugar. So, that gives an enhanced flavor in it. Then the other part is white sugar. And this is a half.
So the brown sugar was
1 tablespoon. No, half a cup of brown sugar. And
or was this half a cup of white sugar?
White sugar and
quarter cup of brown sugar. And then 2 pinches of salt.
Yeah, 2 pinches of salt, and
A quarter teaspoon of
not a quarter, two pinches of
cardamom powder.
Yeah,
And also 4 cups of water. Let me show you what you're going to do next. So first we're going to have a small pot that just needs to be heated up on a light flame. We're going to add the ghee and let it melt. Once the ghee has melted, I'm going to put in the semia or vermicelli, and we're going to roast it until it's a light golden brown, and then we're going to remove it quickly from the stove because we don't want it to be burnt. That will affect the taste of the payasam. And then after that, in whatever ghee that is left over in the pot, we're going to add in the cashew nuts and roast that, and then lastly add in the raisins. And this part's going to be pretty quick, so that's why I'm just telling you that while the ghee is melting, because then I will actually just go through it really fast, and hopefully you can do the same too. So now that it's melted, as you can see, the flame is very low, so you don't want it to burn. I'm just going to add this in. And when you're roasting anything on a flame, you have to keep moving it around so that it doesn't, so certain parts don't get more roasted or burnt and certain parts are left uncooked. So if you leave it like that without tossing it, the ones that are closest to the flame will be overcooked and the ones that are at the top will be undercooked. So just keep tossing it and moving it around gently so that it can cook evenly. So now if you have a look, you can see how it's already starting to a golden brown. So I take it out now, Mummy?
Yes.
I'm just going to turn off the stove and remove that. So as you can see, I've just removed it from the ghee, and it'll continue becoming more and more brown as it cooks in its own heat. So you can take it off when it's a very light brown, because look at the color, it's already becoming darker as it sits with time. So now we're going to add in the cashew nuts.
Keep moving.
And as before, we're just going to keep moving it around so that it's, and keep it on a really low flame, because a high flame is going to make your cashew nuts burn very quickly. Can you see how they've already started changing to a golden brown? So now we're going to add, shall I add this? So we're going to add the raisins. And with the raisins, the moment they puff up into like a little balloon, I'm going to turn the stove off and remove both of it from the heat, because it will continue cooking.
Yeah, that's the time that you should move it.
So now I can turn it off.
Yes.
So when it gets to this point, you can turn it off and remove it from the heat.
We are adding 4 cups of water and then let it boil a bit. You can, in fact, you need not boil, the water need not boil to the full amount. You can put your dal inside. So I'm adding the dal. So, and then after that a pinch of salt with that. Yeah. See, I'm adding a pinch of salt. My pinch is not fat enough, so I'm adding another little bit more. But if you are tasting it after, when you have made the payasam, you think the taste is not rounded enough, you can add a bit more salt. So let it boil till it becomes a half cooked. When it's half cooked, then you can add the sago inside.
So
Because-
we'll show them how how it looks when it's half cooked. Okay.
So now you see the dal has sort of half cooked, and it's ready to have its own partner with that together to be boiled a bit
So
more.
is that how I'm testing it?
Yeah.
Just seeing whether you can break it a bit.
Yeah. And I'm going to put it in like a sieve,
We'll wait for her to cook so she can.
like this, and then continually stir it so that the sago doesn't become clumpy. It will come into a lump. So that's it. And continually stir it for a few seconds so that it gets cooked a bit, and then you can leave it. And I have also added that water for this amount to let the sago expand. You know, when it boils, it expands and it becomes thicker. So you don't add water after that. Oh, you're not enough. Then you are adding again. No.
Because
So
if we're adding extra water, then it's going to slow the cooking process, isn't it? So now with the sago, we want it to cook until it's clear, translucent.
It has to come.
Right now it's white. We want it to be transparent, isn't it?
Yes.
So, hey, Mommy, you were saying about the moong dal and why we use, why is it special for Sri Lankans?
Oh, I see. Moong dal is very special in Sri Lanka because that's the only dal we use for our cooking. Whereas in India, we have got hundreds of other dals which people use it for cooking and all that. But as far as I know, The moong dal is the one is cooked for good
It's most
occasion, bad
commonly-
occasion. Yeah,
most commonly used.
And we use it in the sweet rice also. You know, when we make for New Year function, Deepavali function,
Yeah.
we use this is the dal that we use always.
Yeah.
In Kerala, this is very famous for their payasam.
Ah, okay.
Ah,
Okay. So now we're just going to leave it to boil until
till that.
the sago becomes
Yeah,
translucent,
that's
and
right.
then we'll show you what to do next. So now, as you can see, the sago is a bit translucent. There's still white bits in there, but as it continues boiling with all the other ingredients, it'll be fully cooked. So at this point,
We are going to add this samia. Can you see the samia? It's all brown color, nicely roasted. Now we are going to tilt that in soup.
and we need to cook it until the semia is nice and soft, because when you roasted it, it would have been crunchy. You can break it, but it'll soften as you cook
Yeah.
it.
Now you see that. You see, I told you it was 4 cups of water. The sago has expanded. So if you feel that you want to add a bit of water, we could add a water. 1 cup of
So
water.
if you want a really thick payasam, then maybe don't add too much of water.
1 cup.
But we feel that it's going to be too thick, so we're going to add about 1 cup of boiling water. Make sure you're adding boiling water so that it continues,
This is the water. Okay. And we have
so that
1
it
cup.
continues cooking. So if you add just tap water or cold water, it's going to slow down the boiling process. So we've added the 1 cup of boiling water, and I'm going to let that continue cooking now.
Has it come soft?
Yeah, the semia is
Samia is soft.
slightly.
It must be pliable.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Correct. A bit more.
Okay. I'm just going to give it a couple of minutes, and then I'll show you at what point to add the next ingredient. So now you can see we're going to add the brown sugar. Just stir that in.
The brown sugar is supposed to give a bit of a color for the payasam, not white, you know. And also it minimizes the sweetness of the sugar that we are going to add after this. See, by adding the sugar, so we are going to tilt it into.
So this is the sugar that we're using here is raw sugar, but if you want, you can use normal white sugar. That's totally up to you. This is what we had today, so you can always add white sugar as well.
So now we are into the milk. We are going to add that 1 cup of milk.
And just stir it through.
Yeah, see, it gives you a nice lovely color with the pearls. You can see the sago, and you can see the strings of samia, and it is a very appetizing dish as you look at it, you know. And then we are going into we have come to the end of the payasam now. Now I'm not going to add all the ghee that is there because it's not necessary. Where is it? Oh, yeah. Not necessary to add. Only the cashew nut and the raisins.
Then we just let
That's
it
it.
boil for a while.
Yeah. No.
With the milk, or we don't need to.
When it boils a bit, I mean it has to come 1 boil.
Okay. So maybe I don't stir. So
No, you have
so
to
can
keep stirring it because it will be.
because we don't want the milk to catch at the
Yeah.
bottom. So then we wait until the milk
Yes,
just has
yeah,
one boil.
just
We
one
don't want to
boil.
overboil it.
Yeah.
And then we add the last ingredient.
Okay,
So,
there
see?
you are. It is, you are already the milk is being boiled, and the whole concoction is ready.
Yeah.
Then the last bit is this cardamom powder, about two pinches, which shows the people around there is some sweet meat coming along, and they are cooking this. So hopefully they will give it to us some 1 cup. Okay.
Okay, so then that is how you make
Yeah.
Sri Lankan Payasam. And the best part of the whole thing when you've cooked a nice dish is the tasting and enjoying how this delicious dish is going to be. So with this dish, there was one thing that my aunt wanted to tell you to remember to do, was making sure that the dish is balanced for salt. So when we turned off the video earlier, the camera, we found that it needed just a little bit more salt. And the reason for that is just to balance out how the flavor of the sugar is. It's not supposed to be salty, but putting a bit of salt actually brings out the richness of the sugar and the sweetness of the sugar and the taste of the milk and the flavor
Yes.
of the whole dish.
That's right.
So we're going to taste this now, and then we'll tell you how it goes.
Well, I'm not going to stop with 1 teaspoon. It is too delicious. I have to have the whole cup.
You can have the whole bowl. I'll
Yeah.
give you the whole bowl and I'll take my own later.
Okay.
But this really reminds me of home and growing up. It was made for any happy and sad occasions, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Whether it was for Deepavali or whether it was after a funeral, it was cooked because it was a dish that balances out the entire meal. You start the meal with something sweet, it would be this payasam, and you could end the meal with something sweet, which would also be this payasam or any other version of payasam. But
Yeah.
this is a very versatile payasam to have and very, very tasty.
Okay. From the time I knew about sago till now, I am 80 years old. But when I get it, I get so enlightened by looking at the pearls. And it always makes me, I want to eat this dish. You know, sago always makes me very happy because during when we were sick, my father used to give us salted sago, salted sago porridge, that with the milk, and that's a food for us, like, you know. So that sago always makes me very happy, and I ended up doing that payasam, and till today I'm the family payasam maker. Okay, that makes me very happy actually.
Thank you, Imam,
Yeah.
for showing us how to make this. I hope you enjoyed this video. Happy cooking!